Okay, it's time to do a chick check. Now, I want to kind of explain more of my process here. When I go through and point the camera in boxes and say, isn't that cute, isn't that cute, that's not really all that I do when I do a chick check. I have a whole clipboard right here. It has a card on it for every single pair that's in here. For every single pair that's in here, starting with Zoo and Cotton and the cockatiels. And I track chicks' birth dates. I track their band numbers when they get banded, and I take that information and transfer it into a file folder that has their parent's name on it, and we'll end up with a lot more information, like what color and mutation they turn out to be and that kind of thing. So, and when I go through here, I'm doing health checks. I've already done that part. I'm doing health checks. I'll literally pick up every chick and make sure that it's developing normally, that its crop is full, it's being fed, and check and see if its feet are big enough to be banded yet. So there's a lot more to this when I actually do it, but I can't do that when I'm holding a camera. So let's just go through and look at all our pretty babies. What the heck? So this is a foster cage. Those are the 3 dads standing guard up there. And by the way, they drive Niger crazy. That's Niger over there. He's like, you let me at him, I'm gonna kill him. So right now he's making it with this girl, but he spends a lot of time stressing over them. And that is the job of the cocks, which is to defend the territory. And one of the reasons you'll see 2 males bonding as though they were a pair is because they end up defending, they will be a breeding alliance, and one of the things they'll do is defend a territory jointly. If there's 2 of you or 3 of you, you can run off an invading male very easily. So these guys are a group. See him over there? He's looking at all those boys over in the other cages. You can't come over here. Mine. So, okay, so this is the white hen. She has Glory's number 3 chick, Lava's number 4 chick, and Dew's number 4 chick in here. Their band date is tomorrow, so the oldest chick will be ready to band tomorrow, give or take a day. Their band date is the 8th day of development. I do get some chicks that could be banded younger than that, and some that could be banded older, but a lot of them are ready to go. These guys all look good. None of them are related, but they don't know that. Okay, so this is the blue hen, his girl. Her first chick was banded today. Her first and second chicks are Evangeline's. Her third chick's Glory's number 4, and her 4th chick is Estuary's number 3. So, Estuary's the youngest chick, got moved here because it had 6 days after its 2 brothers and sisters. So there's a little teeny tiny guy in there, and every time I open the box, I check to make sure he's doing okay. And there he is, doing just fine. Everybody's keeping him warm. Chicks do a big growth spurt starting in about 4 or 5 days. So all of his older siblings are in it, and he's not yet, but he'll get there. This is the yellow-faced hen's box, and I gave her Larkspur's 3 last chicks that I didn't know were going to exist until I candled their eggs after their siblings had all hatched. And there they are. The little one just hatched out today. Larkspur and Indy have tiny little babies. Indy's not a very big bird, and actually Larkspur isn't huge either. She's bigger than he is, but not by a huge amount. So these 2, we did a box cleaning with them earlier, and I'm really pleased with their chicks. I so wanted some more double factor spangles, and I got so many, and they're big. And one of the ways you can tell how big a chick is going to be is that 8-day mark. If you open a box to band a chick on its 8th day and its foot is big and you're having to use vegetable oil to get the band over it, that's going to be a big bird. Hi, Muffy. How you doing? Since you're not in your box, we're going to take a peek. These are Indian Larkspur's older chicks. You can see the age difference makes a huge difference. So, and they are doing well. Band date was today, but the biggest chick's feet aren't quite ready yet. And this is Henry and Evangeline, and they still have their 4 in here. Come on, Evangeline, off you go. And I would say that this oldest chick, now this is a breeding experiment to see if I get any genetic variation between 2 mauve birds. So I expect the vast majority of these chicks to be mauve. And I don't think this one's going to disappoint. He's very, very dark. So, that's baby number 1. We got 5 more to go. Okay. This is Agate and Aster. Their band date's tomorrow. And their chicks are younger. They got a little bit of a late start. Took them a while, but they got there. Oh, nothing. She doesn't like me to look. Let's see what she's doing. She has them all covered. She says, don't look. That's my baby. Not speaking to you. And this is some coal birds from the other cage. I was going to start selling and shipping birds, but it turns out that the, airlines and the post office are not shipping animals right now because of COVID. Their schedules are unpredictable. So I just sold them out of the garage. So, and these are the last 3 that haven't quite gone yet. So this is my handsome boy Niall. And he has 3 chicks in here and a 4th one over in another box, I think. And they are, I think I banded the first one today. Did you get a band on today, Lemothy? Yes, you did. It's a beautiful band. And a very handsome. So that is an 8-day-old chick. It's big enough to band. So this is, there is malachite and lava. We'll have to, let me get the stool. Their oldest chick is the same day, hatched the same day as Henry and Evangeline's, but Henry and Evangeline are not huge birds, and at least Lava is a really large bird, and this first chick is a monster. He's yellow-based, and his next brother down is white-based. So, and they will not be gray or gray-green because Lava is a slate. And Slate is sex-linked, so she never has chicks that look like her. They always either come out green like Dad or blue. So, but they are beautiful, and of course, Gimpy Boy is their next younger sibling. So hopefully that will turn out okay. It's looking pretty good. So this is Periodot. Hi, Periodot. Do you have beautiful babies in there? So Periodot and Estuary had 4 fertile eggs in here. 2 of them hatched, and days went by, and days went by, and days went by. And I kept looking at the other 2, and they looked like they were viable. And finally I got to a point where I was like, they can't stay in this nest if they hatch, and I don't have any other, and I only have 1 other foster spot. So I picked the most developed embryo. And the way I could tell is because it had broken through its air sac, and that told me it was finally about to hatch. And I froze the other one. So they have a 3rd chick elsewhere. But that left them with 2 chicks, and because of a whole story and saga that happened over in Baby and Gaslight's cage, they ended up with Baby's oldest chick. So they do have 3 in here. Baby and Gaslight's chick will, of course, be blue, where theirs will be green. And you can already tell which one it is because it's the pink one. The other 2 are much darker. So, but they're looking beautiful. The 2 younger chicks are going to get banded tomorrow. And life is good. Okay, this is Amazon and Dew. They had 4 embryos, all 4 hatched. The youngest one got fostered over into the foster nest. because I like to keep nest down to 3 chicks. I end up getting optimal size and good health that way. So they're looking good. Biggest one got banded. Actually, number 2 got banded too. So here's one of the things is these chicks are actually large, but these parents are not. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see what happens. This is Congo and Rain, and we are still waiting for our first chick to hatch out. This is Baby and Dacite. And here's the story. They had 1 chick. They had a second embryo, but the first chick hatched out on the 16th, and at the end of the day on the 20th, nothing was happening. So I thought, it's not going to hatch. So I had an extra chick. Oh, I don't remember whose it was. It was somebody's. I had an extra chick. It was Steel and, that's who it was. Of course, I have them all marked on here. Steel and Hyacinth hatched out their 1 embryo, and Hyacinth wasn't feeding it. I checked it, and nothing, and I thought, uh-oh. So I stuck it in here, and Baby, being an experienced hen, pumped it full of food, and then I stuck it back over in its own box with its mom again, and waited till that night to see if she had started feeding it yet. And again, that night, its crock was completely empty. So I said, oh well, and I broke the 2 of them up and stuck it in here. And I was like, okay, so at least you'll have 2 chicks. They're 4 days apart, but that's fine, right? But through all of that time, I had been taking these random eggs with what might be a viable embryo, but might not. It had passed its hatch date. It wasn't going to fit in its own nest. Its parents had too many. And I kept dropping them in here because I was like, I don't know, it's got a dent in it. It's not going to hatch. It was supposed to hatch 3 days ago. It's not going to hatch. And on the 21st, all 3 of them hatched. So, I did have the 1 chick with the dented egg, which was Aster's, I believe. But you can't tell them apart when they all hatch on the same day. But the egg was dented, and that's why I didn't think it was going to hatch. And one of the chicks was very dehydrated and kind of, dark pink, crumply skin. And Baby did her best with it and kept it going for almost 48 hours, and then it died. So, but I cannot throw away this information here because these chicks all hatched within 24 hours of each other. So I don't really know which one that was. It might have been her own chick that didn't get out of its egg in time, and it was dried out. But here's what I do know. Steel and Hyacinth's chick, if it's a hen, will be a slate. If it's a cock, it will be a sky blue, either a normal or a spangle. Flo's baby will be green. Baby's number 2 baby will be opaline, no matter what. It could be yellow face, it could be sky blue, it could be a spangle, but it will definitely be an opaline. So that's obvious. And then Aster's chick will either be a single factor or double factor spangle, again, sky blue. So there is some small overlap between this chick and this one, but not a lot, because Steel and this chick is the oldest one. It's 24 hours older than the rest of them, and I can tell by looking which one it is. So, and all I have to do is be able to continue to tell apart until I band it. So, but all the rest of them I should be able to tell apart, and I won't know who died until they all get their feathers in. So, the chick over on the left that's on its back is the largest one. The other 2 hatched on the same day, and although one is slightly larger than the other, it's not by much. So, so she has 3 little guys in there. And I was tempted to take the little tiny one that's over in the blue foster hen's nest and put it in here just because it would be the same size as everyone else, but I would be unable to tell it apart from Flo's green baby because it is Periodont and Estuary's baby, and it is, they are first cousins and could come out looking exactly the same. So it is what it is. So anyway, so she's got a bunch in there. I'm hoping one of those is her own baby because this is a high value pair. I really wanted chicks out of them. I have the one over here in the neighbor's nest, but I'd like two. This little girl, turns out I was talking to somebody. They said, yeah, forks actually like nesting material in their nest. I was like, really? Because I kind of noticed that she was starting to make a little indentation in the back of the cage back there. A nice little fat tennis ball shaped indentation in the grass. And so I asked, and it's like, well, maybe that's why she's not getting in the nest, because there was no nesting material in it. So I put some in, and I think she's been in there, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll know for sure when she goes in and doesn't come out. We are still waiting for a first baby down here, and it's not going to come for a while. The hatch date was yesterday, but they had 3 blank eggs, so it's going to be another week before it hatches. So these two, oh look, she's out of the nest. So these two, to my great surprise, have thrown me a bunch of giant babies. I had to band them on their 6th and 7th day, because by the time they got to their 8th day, I was having to soap up their leg to get the band on. And they are big, hefty babies. The other thing that's a kind of a surprise is all of that white down. This is supposed to be an outbreeding. I'm trying to improve my recessive pied line. As you can see, he's a nice big guy, but he has no feather whatsoever. So I was breeding him to her to add feather, and she's tall. She's taller than he is. So, I belatedly realized that although I have not seen a recessive pied out of her line, her grandfather was split to recessive pied, which means her mother could have been split to recessive pied, and she could be split to recessive pied, which would explain why I have 2 babies with pure white down. So that's not really what I had in mind. I wanted to outbreed, but you know, you take what you can get. I'll deal. But kind of exciting that I could have a recessive pied chick. I mean, after getting over that it's not what I wanted it to be, you know. Sometimes you just take what you can get. Horseshoe, how's it going, huh? You got cute babies? He says, I got the cutest babies. Leave them alone. They're mine. So there's Scarn and Pastel, and we just saw their box cleaning, so we won't go in there. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to see if Little Boo's bandage is still on. Let me see. Is it? That looks like a bandage. I'll take it. Okay. Leave that on there, Mama. He needs a couple more days for it to get solid. This is Bear Grylls and Glory. Hi, Bear Grylls. A little tiny guy, but they're cute. And their giant babies are looking really nice. They're too young yet to tell if they're going to be any yellow faces, but fingers crossed. And this is my other recessive pied pairing. Again, an attempt to outbreed to improve the line. And these guys are doing very nicely. They just got banded today. And if those bands stays on their feet, they get the first box cleaning tomorrow. As you can see, they need it. Okay, so that's our chick check for today.